Always fresh every day. You're watching Fastlane Daily.
More news out of SEMA. Today with a modified version of Ken Block's Subaru WRX STI said to hit the ski or snowboard slopes. And a truck built for playing video games on your favorite rally trail. It's confusing, I know, but we'll explain. Also, there's a new game in Eastern Europe and it's called Russian Road Roulette. And it's becoming a very big problem. We've also got the SLS AMG back in our internet rumor mill. Could there be a Black Series around the corner? Also stick around. All that plus FLDetours with Richard P. in our new Buick. Yes, a Buick. What's up, everybody? I'm Derek D. Checking out Fastlane Daily on a Tuesday.
Fastlane Daily with Derek D. Always fresh every day.
Today is the opening day of the SEMA show in Las Vegas. Yesterday we scratched the surface with a few modified Camaros, but today we've got the perfect car for the mashing up of the slopes and the perfect car for playing rally video games while actually driving down a dirt trail. Since winter is approaching, let's start off with this friggin' awesomeness. Man, come on, Ken. You have way too much fun. I mean, Ian, does it get any cooler? Seriously? Tracks? Ken Block's Subaru WRX STI equipped with a snow track system. You may or may not remember, but we had spy shots of this modified rally car last year, but we didn't know what to think about them. We could only assume Ken Block and DC were prepping another video. And it looks like that's exactly what they are doing. But we won't be seeing anything for a few more months still. Vermont Sports Car did all the work on the car, as on his previous Subaru rally cars. Power still comes from the 2.5-liter four-cylinder boxer engine that puts out 400 horsepower. There's still a multi-point steel roll cage, and the only big difference between this car and Ken Block's primary rally car is the 5-speed close ratio dog ring gearbox. Oh yeah, and there's a snowboard rack on the top too. You lucky bastard. And from Toyota, we've got this, the Toyota Tacoma all-terrain gamer. This double-cab Tacoma is fitted with half a dozen flat-screen TVs, an array of Microsoft Xboxes, Gullwing doors with lack of B-pillars, and of course, a bike rack. What am I gonna do with a bike rack? You may think this thing is straight out of Pimp My Ride, but trust me, it's not. The truck was a joint project between Microsoft, Bad Company, and Toyota Racing Development. Toyota Racing Development, you may ask? Yes, and they made sure to add this small little paragraph at the end of the press release to assure us that this truck can still transport outdoor enthusiasts to their favorite remote locations. That's because you wouldn't want to be seen in public with that thing. Every year it seems that Toyota comes up with the craziest stuff. Cam Rider, anyone? Yeah, that thing, remember that? Those are actually Camrys airbrushed on the side of that car, and there's no roof on it. And I don't know if you can see it, but there's an iPod, or is it an iPhone? iPod right in the steering wheel. Yeah. Ah, the good old days of Garage 419, Ian. Remember those? We'll miss you. Moving on. So we've all heard of Russian Roulette, right? Stupid game where you can end it by killing yourself. But now in Sofia, Bulgaria, they are playing Russian Road Roulette, which is even stupider because not only can you kill yourself, but kill others as well. 5 people have already been killed and countless others injured. Every night around midnight throughout the Bulgarian capital, 50 or so drivers, most in their 20s, driving SUVs, get together at different meeting locations in the city. Basically how you, quote, win, a driver must run red lights at busy intersections going full speed. You can't hit the brakes, you can't hit another car, a person, or leave the road. If you hit an object, including a pedestrian, you lose. People also gamble on the outcome, with some bets netting close to $10,000. It's primarily gangs involved in this most idiotic of games, but I would insert a stupid joke here, but honestly, this is really f***ed up. Don't drive after dark if you live in Sofia. I'm just saying. Idiots. Right? Okay. I guess you guys don't agree. And in the internet rumor mill, Mercedes has given the tentative go-ahead to AMG to begin working on the SLS Black Series. Sources say that if such an AMG model were to come about, it would be designed to compete directly with the Ferrari 599 GTB Fiorano. Suggested horsepower is being hinted at above 600 with over 500 pounds-feet of torque. AMG boss Friedrich Eckler hasn't specifically stated any facts, but did go on to say, "We're saving the best for last," and that they were not limited to what is currently floating around. So things could get even crazier. Of course, we won't know until the SLS AMG Black Series is de-virginized by the internet rumor mill around 2013. In other news, Vanessa Williams is suing because she is the first one who said saving the best for last. The song, save. Okay. Next up, Rich takes the Buick Lacrosse out for a drive in northern Manhattan. That's today on FLDetours. Right after this, come on, Vanessa Williams, save the best for last.
What Derek D doesn't know is that we've switched his regular cup of morning coffee with sulfuric acid.
Oh, son of a bitch! Oh!
Always fresh, every day, FastLaneDaily.
Now, within the past 10 years, some of you might have been thinking Buicks have been somewhat garbage. But for 2010, this is what we have now, the all-new Lacrosse. I'm Richard P., and this is FLDetours. So the 2010 Lacrosse isn't your grandfather's Buick. There's a lot of appreciation for the finer little details in the car. There's leather on the top of the doors, on the bottom, and on the top and bottom of the dash. Powering the Lacrosse is a 3.6-liter V6, good for 280 horsepower and just about 260 pounds-feet of torque. And that's more than enough power to get you where you need to go. The problem is, though, it's to the front wheels. So you don't have a lot of traction in the wet, and it's just not very good for handling. But you have to remember, that's not what a Buick's about. It's not about taking a turn at 60 or flying past people and having a ball and the exhaust note. It's about luxury. It's about being able to cruise at 80 miles an hour quietly. And do you hear that? Exactly, you don't hear anything. It's because the car is silent as all hell. Paired with the 6-cylinder motor is a 6-speed automatic gearbox. And ironically enough, it does have a sport mode. In a Buick? Yeah, it's got a sport mode. And it shifts okay. You know, it's okay for a gearbox. It's nowhere near close to a dual clutch transmission, as you would expect, but it gets the job done and it's passable. When I first saw this car at the New York International Auto Show, I pointed out and I thought to myself, this is gonna be the next big thing for GM. And it is, because this is the revitalization of Buick as a nameplate, where it was kind of not cool, not very good looking, kind of fartsy, and now it's kind of coming into its own, and it's going to be starting to take some new design language into the brand. Looking at the competition, you know, the Lexus ES and the Acura TL, they're pretty good cars. I mean, obviously the Acura TL is the more aggressive one of the bunch, and the Lexus is kind of the more femme version. The thing is, the Buick slots in nicely between them, but the problem is it doesn't have an all-wheel drive, top-of-the-line version. It only comes in front-wheel drive. So you have 280 horsepower going to the front wheels. That's no good. Where it makes up for that fault in the competition, though, is in sheer space. Now, in the front, there is 40-plus inches of legroom, and in the rear, there's just over 40 inches of legroom. In the rear, that's unheard of in this segment. That's like an S-Class or a 7 Series. That's unbelievable. And it's almost like a limo. Like Derek's sitting there right now, he's got about 6 inches of clearance. You believe that?
It's true, I do.
Looking at the nav interface and the gauges, it's actually, you know, there is a lot of buttons, don't get me wrong, but once you get in the car and you kind of get familiarized, it's not that bad. Now, the nav unit is actually very easy to use. It's a touch screen and it's very fluid. It's not laggy or anything like that. I mean, Volkswagen, I've been in a few Volkswagens lately, and their systems tend to lag a little bit. Even Mitsubishi, this system is very fluid, it's very good, and you know, it's to the point. It's very easy to use. Where GM has really stepped up their game is with matching the features of the competition. There's one-touch shades for the moonroof and the rear window. There is heated and cooled seats. There's a heated steering wheel, and there's a rear view camera. So when you're backing up, you can make sure when you're parking this boat, you're not going to back into a hydrant or something. It's really, you know, it shows that GM is trying really hard, and that the quality of their vehicles is stepping up substantially. Also recently announced was the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety, which named the 2010 Lacrosse a top safety pick. Forget about Volvo, forget about all those European guys. This car is where it's at. Overall, the new Buick is a good car, and it shows that the company is doing the right things, and they are headed in the right direction. Now the question is, will the image be holding it back, and will it be able to stand up to the competition? Not quite sure, especially since this car doesn't have all-wheel drive on the top-of-the-line model. But we will see.
Good job, Rich, the Buick Lacrosse. If you want to see Richard P getting down to Vanilla Ice's Ice Ice Baby, want to log into Facebook and friend us and watch the video. It's pretty funny. All right, well that about does it for Fastlane Daily today. I'm Derek D, and you know what? I want the Yanks to win in New York anyway. So they lost on purpose. Go Yanks tomorrow night. All right, talk to you guys tomorrow.